43, 44, 52, 53 and 81, if I have time. Mid-Bedfordshire is a fast-growing area and has accommodated more than its fair share of new homes in the past decade. Since 2012, the two districts that my constituency covers has delivered over 35,000 new homes, including the new town of Wixhams. Yet this government would have you believe that those people in my constituency who've seen housing growth outpace services, who are still waiting for the long-promised GP surgery and train stations and other infrastructure, who fear that the character of their historic ends villages is being lost, the government would have you believe that all these people are blockers, because they're concerned about what more badly planned development would mean for the overstretched amenities and services in our area. This bill is an opportunity to lead, Madam Deputy Speaker, an opportunity not to pit blockers against builders, but to deliver a system that turns blockers into builders. Regrettably, this bill, as it stands, I fear, will fail, but it doesn't have to. New Clause 52, in my name, would create a fairer way of managing new towns, reforming a new towns programme that seems expressly designed to make local communities resent the towns foisted upon them, replacing it with a model of new towns that doesn't involve a double whammy of house building, where communities who want to do the right thing and build the houses people need find that every patch of countryside must be hoovered up just because the government has added the new towns on top of developable areas in our district. New Clause 53, in my name, would close the loophole that allows planning authorities to grant developments on floodplains. A perfectly sensible, pragmatic position. In Malden, in my constituency, people know all too well how bad development compounds the risk of flooding. They are honest, hard-working people who want to enjoy the warm, dry home that their hard work has paid for. But the government are backing big box developers and not those hard-working people. This clause would prevent developers from getting away high and dry with their profits, whilst our constituents pay the price in flooded homes. New Clause 44, in the name of the member for Ruislip, Northwood and Pinner, does the same. It ensures that where development does happen, developers must deliver sustainable urban drainage infrastructure, and they must keep it maintained. Current guidance is too vague, and the current rules too lax to ensure that our residents are protected. Mid-Bedfordshire is a constituency with lots of beautiful villages, but they're under threat from the creeping spread of urban sprawl that threatens to merge them into a conglomerate mass of development. Flying in the face of the historically gentle, natural evolution of our beautiful estate villages, I therefore endorse New Clause 43 in its efforts to stop our beautiful villages from being lost for future generations. I'll gladly give way.
Friend for giving way. In a similar way, does he agree with me this sense of urban sprawl is not just about green belt between specific villages, but between communities? Yeah. We see it in my constituency on the edge of Birmingham, between, for example, Streatley and Feasey. Does he agree with me if the government adopted a truly brownfield first approach, developed the 1.2 million homes which it is estimated are available on brownfield sites, this would really help tackle this problem?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with my honourable friend. And these green spaces on the edge of towns are at risk. It's not the fields that are at risk, but people do not then have access to the green space. You know, and these green fields between villages and between towns are vital for mental health and well-being.
Will you give way on very briefly?
Well, I will very briefly give way.
Well, friend for giving way. In relation to his support for New Clause 44, would he agree with me that it is a very easy amendment to accept from the government because it actually enables and encompasses a piece of legislation that already exists but could make a vast difference to many of the developments that are being proposed? And can he outline why he thinks the Minister won't accept them?
Well, I think the Shadow Minister makes the case for me. I don't think I really need to highlight it, and I do absolutely support that clause. Finally, so that we can move on to another speaker, Madam Deputy Speaker, I'm proud to support New Clause 81 in the name of the member for Mid-Leicestershire. Too often, communities like Wixhams in Mid-Bedfordshire find that the housing first, infrastructure second approach that our planning system currently prefers means that they get all of the housing but none of the infrastructure. That's just not right. It's not right that nearly 2 decades from the first shovel going in the ground, it's still not clear when Wixham's, in my constituency, will get its long-promised GP surgery. And yet more and more houses are being planned for around it. We must end this cycle and ensure that where infrastructure is promised, infrastructure is delivered. That's what this clause will do. Madam Deputy Speaker, we have a once-in-a-generation opportunity to build a planning system that turns blockers into builders. We must do better than this bill, which I fear will only build more blockers.
And just to give members some notice, after this speaker, I will be going down to a 4-minute time limit. I call Chris